Jesus Christ, our Savior, has said, I am the resurrection and the life. Those who believe in me, even though they die yet, shall they live, and whoever lives and believes in me shall never die. Our Savior says, I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Behold, I hold the keys to hell and death, and I am alive forevermore. And then our Savior says, because I live, you shall live also. So friends, we are gathered here today in the sight of God. We're gathered in this sacred space to praise God and to witness to our faith as we give thanks for the life of Jan Ellis. We come together in grief, and we acknowledge our human loss, but we trust that God is with us, that God will grant us grace. In the midst of our pain, we might know comfort. In the midst of our sorrow, we might know hope. And as we come face to face with the mystery of death, may we know of God's resurrection love and God's resurrection power. In that spirit, we are here to worship this day and to indeed give praise to God. And our first hymn can be found on page 89 in the red hymn book in front of you. Joyful, joyful, we adore thee. This hymn was chosen because it captures something of the spirit of Jan, the Jan that we all knew and loved. And it speaks of what it means to be faithful. So I invite you to stand and let us sing together hymn number 89. Eternal God, we do praise you for the great company of all those who have finished their course in faith and who now rest from their labor. We praise you for those dear to us, whom we name in our hearts before you. And especially we praise you this day for Jan David Ellis, trusting that you have graciously received him into your presence. To all of us, O God, grant your peace. Let your light shine upon us, that we might be able to see your glory into the joy of your home, a home not made with hands, but eternal in the heavens. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. And hear these words from that most beloved of the Psalms, the 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. At this time, I do invite Edith and Patty and Charles to come forward and to give your personal testimonies and your personal witnesses.
My name is Edith Bradbury, and I knew Jan for 30 years. And the greater part of that time, we worked together. So I saw him pretty much every day during that time. Before he died, he asked me to share his favorite poem with you. And so that's what I'm going to do first, and then I'll talk a little bit. The poem is The Way It Is by William Stafford. There's a thread you follow. It goes among things that change, but it doesn't change. People wonder about what you are pursuing. You have to explain about the thread, but it's hard for others to see. While you hold it, you can't get lost. Tragedies happen. People get hurt or die. And you suffer it all. Sorry, nothing you do can stop time's unfolding. You don't ever let go of the thread. When I think about Jan's life, I can see why this poem had so much meaning to him. And I tried over the weekend several times to write down my thoughts. But it was really hard because it was very hard to put into words. So I decided today I'm just going to kind of speak from my heart, and hopefully my heart will not ramble on and on. The one word that I finally came up with that related to this poem and Jan's life was the thread is his essence. And I think that is something that we all need to hold in our hearts and hold dear to us. We all had our different roles with Jan. We all had our different places and maybe even a lot of times interpretations of him. But we all still share that same essence. And some of the things that are in that essence, that are part of that thread, that were very, very strong with Jan, are one, his kindness. Dana Baggs, who also worked with us, she posted on Facebook that Jan had died. And the outpouring from people that worked at the hospital as far as things that he had done. One girl had hurt her back, and he gave out his phone number so she could call if she needed help to lift people. Someone else had problems with their feet, and he took time and made inserts for her shoes and tried everything he could do to help her. Marty, who's here, another friend, she always tells the story of her grandmother, who was very, very sick, did not want to be in the hospital, did not want to go to therapy, did not want to have anything to do with any of it. And Jan, in his kindness, and the other part of his grit, his humor, was able to charm her into doing. Marty couldn't believe it. I mean, she couldn't believe that her grandmother was doing as much, but every day, Jan, and sometimes he had to start all over with her, but she still followed him. So one part is his kindness. I do know that over the years I knew Jan. Sometimes I asked, could you be too kind? He often said that if someone was unkind to you, it was because maybe they weren't happy. And he tried to kind of hold that in his heart. Another thing that I mentioned a minute ago was his humor. Gene can make me laugh every day. And even when he was ill, the last few times I saw him, he still was able to make me laugh. He just had that ability. And I don't think it was just me. Everyone I've spoken to said the same thing. Missy was talking about how that was one of her favorite qualities of him. He was just so much fun to be around. Jan was also very devoted. He was very devoted to his family. He wanted everything for them. And I know over the years he worked hard to make sure that they had everything and that he gave them the best times when he was with them. He really put his love and energy into his family. So that's another thing. He loved his friends. If he was your friend, he was pretty much your friend for life. And I know there's people that he grew up with that came to see him when he was sick. So he was a very loyal and devoted person. You were very lucky if you had him as a friend. Another thing that I'll always remember about Jan, and I'm really sorry that I didn't just insist, like sit him down and make him do it, he always had a story. He never forgot where he came from. He never forgot about Stevens. He never forgot about his father, who was a physician, his mother, his brothers, his sisters, all of the people that he knew, all the people he didn't even really know that well, but they were interesting. He had humorous and interesting stories. I told him probably 29 out of the 30 years I knew him, he needed to write a book. He really, his stories were powerful and endless and very interesting. So I just feel like we will all miss him a lot. It's going to be hard. He's been somebody that's been great to know. In closing, I want to read a poem that I found. It's called When Great Trees Fall by Maya Angelou. When great trees fall, rocks on distant hills shudder. Lions hunker down in tall grasses, and even elephants lumber after safety. When great trees fall in forests, small things recoil in silence, their senses eroded beyond fear. When great souls die, the air around us becomes light, rare, sterile. We breathe briefly. Our eyes briefly see with a hurtful clarity. Our memory suddenly sharpens, examines, gnaws on kind words, unsaid, promised walks never taken. Great souls die, and our reality, bound to them, takes leave of us. Our souls, dependent upon their nurture, now shrink, wizened. Our minds, formed and informed by their radiance, fall away. We are not so much maddened as reduced to the unutterable ignorance of dark, cold caves. And when great souls die, after a period, peace blooms, slowly and always irregularly. Space is filled with a kind of soothing electric vibration. Our senses, restored, never to be the same, whisper to us. They existed, they existed. We can be and be better, for they existed. Thank you.
Hi, I met Jan in 2005, so I guess I'm a late person meeting him. But I met him when I joined the mostly men's club at the Arkansas Fly Fishers. And anyway, we've since changed that, all of us women. But anyway, there's a good contingent of Arkansas Fly Fishers here today, and some of them were personally involved in a couple of the stories I'm going to tell. But one of the things, for fly fishers, Jan is also known as the gorilla. So I'm going to tell you all about that little story. But I really got to know Jan in 2006 whenever our fly fishing club went to San Juan, New Mexico. And that's a river out there where you're supposed to be able to catch lots of big fish. And I said supposed to, because if it wasn't for Bob Cheatham, I probably still wouldn't have caught a fish out there. But anyway, Jan was always so kind, and since I was by myself and he was by himself, sometimes we would get a guide together. And we would, all of us would fish and eat together. And Jan's humor is just so wonderful. And that's how I kind of got to know Jan. I was also on the board with him on the Arkansas Fly Fishers. And he was on that board for years and years and years. And he did a wonderful job working with the fly fishing club. And certainly welcomed women. I suspect that's because of Katie. Anyway, after going out to the San Juan, I introduced Whit, my husband, to Jan, and he introduced Missy to me. And at that point, they started coming up to the White River and would fish on the White River. And then when we went to the boundary waters, Jan and Whit would fish together as well. So it's wonderful to have known him, as I know every one of you agrees. Jan, if he got a chance to talk to someone even a few minutes, you wanted to be his friend. Everyone did. And he had tons of friends. And not just casual acquaintances, because they loved Jan. And Jan loved them. I mean, it was a mutual situation. He loved people, and it showed. Anyway, Jan was a very unique person, and he's going to be missed by all of us. And I told you I would tell you how Jan earned his nickname, the gorilla. We were in the boundary waters, and there were 6 of us decided to take a trip on in these little Kevlar canoes. And a Kevlar canoe is not very big. They're known for being lightweight, and the sides of them are only about this tall. And you know how big Jan was. Well, we got out on the water and the wind came up. Well, the side of the boat is this tall, and the waves are about this tall. So we sat on an island for 3 or 4 hours, and that's all 6 of us, and we decided that we had to make a run for it or it was going to get dark. And we knew that we needed to get to the shore so we could get back to our vehicles. Anyway, so Jan got in the canoe, and he had Nancy Wilson with him, and frankly, I think Nancy can probably, she'll probably tell you saved her life. But anyway, Jan hunkered down in that canoe, and he was paddling furiously both sides and made it to shore. But the way he was doing it, and with the almost superhuman power that he had, he got the nickname the gorilla. And we called him that ever since. Anyway, one of the things, and I thought Edith did a fabulous job kind of giving us the essence of Jan. One thing she didn't mention was his ability to be a prankster. And I bet there's some of y'all that have been subject to his pranks. Is that right? Okay, I see some heads nodding. Anyway, I want to tell you that Jan got pranked in McGee, Arkansas. And it wasn't even by a human. It was by a South Arkansas alligator. And we're not talking about one of these little alligators you see that they'll let you hold at the zoo. No, we're talking about a real alligator like you see on TV that they catch and take in for their skins. Anyway, this alligator loved to be at the Purdy Pond. And so it was Donnie Purdy and Bob Cheatham and Jan were out there fishing on the Purdy Pond. And it had already been a crazy day because Bob Cheatham had already fallen in and lost his glasses. But anyway, Jan and Donnie decided to go to shore. And when they did, they kind of pulled in where that resident alligator was out there sunning. And that alligator took exception. And Jan was in the back of the boat, and Donnie was up front, and that alligator came clear across the boat at Jan and went right across the boat. Well, needless to say, Donnie says that if it had not been for them being in shallow water, they would have been in the water with the alligator. But he had never seen Jan move quite that fast. And another thing about Jan, he had wonderful facial expressions. And I was looking at the back of the program. I mean, Jan even has a wonderful facial expression there. And when he told his stories and he put the facial expressions with them, it was awesome. And he did both, and you just wanted to watch him. You know, sometimes you can just listen to someone, but you also wanted to watch Jan because he had such wonderful expressions. Anyway, I mentioned that we've been to the Boundary Waters, and our club went up there, I guess several times. And the first time that we went, we stopped in Minnesota. And we were at the Big Bear Lodge in outside of Minneapolis, Minnesota. And we went in to eat dinner. And when we went in to eat dinner, it was this kind of bar, eat place, nothing special at all. And now this has been several years ago, so keep that in mind as well. Anyway, when we went in there, Jan saw something on the menu that he hadn't seen before. It's called a Flat Tire. It was a beer. And so Jan ordered one. And after he had consumed that beer, Jan got the price of that beer. And it was a big, fat bill. You should have seen the expression on Jan's face. He did not need to make any verbal response. Anyway, Jan did love to fly fish, and he loved to share his passion with his friends and with his family. I remember when he brought Katie up to the White River to fish. I mean, he had her decked out. She had a new fly rod. She had a new reel. She had waders. She had everything she needed. And she went out there and started catching fish. And Jan was, I mean, he was just ecstatic, more ecstatic than I've seen him catching a fish, to see his daughter catch fish and enjoy it. But I will tell you that I did mention you had a new fly rod, right, that you had for her. Well, when she decided to take a break, Jan was on that fly rod. He had to try it out. And then there's Patrick. I guess it was shortly after Jan was diagnosed that he bought a drift boat. And Patrick and Jan had so much fun in that drift boat. Now, I was never on the drift boat, but I can tell you that they had fun just based upon all the pictures that he had seen. And it was clear that Patrick was the good fisherman. As a matter of fact, when Patrick hunted and fished, it didn't matter if he was killing a bear or he was killing a deer, whatever he was killing, Jan would always send that out, and he'd send out his big fish, including carp. So it didn't matter. Jan was so proud of his children. And it was just wonderful to see what a wonderful family man he was. And Missy and Jan married 40 years and had known each other in college and married. I want to thank Missy today because this service is really for the living. Jan has already moved on, is with God now. And anyway, Missy, thank you so much for all your devotion and your help and what you did for Jan. What you've done for the last couple of years has just been extraordinary. And I want to thank you on behalf of Jan and on behalf of all of his friends. You have been an extraordinary wife and companion. Thank you. Sorry. Okay. I also want to thank Jan for letting me be here today. I was supposed to be in Denver. things changed. Jan was a good enough friend that I said, oh, to heck with Denver. I grew up here in Conway, Arkansas. And that is true, because Jan asked me to speak, and to me, it's a great honor to be here to honor Jan. But I wonder if Jan is here, actually, because I know we think of Jan's presence being here to hear his funeral, but my husband died about 10 months ago, and they were big fly fishermen, and it wouldn't be surprising to me if Whit didn't talk Jan into going fly fishing today. So, what I want to say to Jan is thank you, Jan, and I look forward to seeing you in the future, hopefully not too soon in the future, and until then, tight lines. Thank you.
Katie and Missy and Patrick, thank you for the honor of being able to speak and remember Jan today. Our high school yearbook had on its cover the double helix. It was just after the genetic code had been a part of the Nobel Prize. And inside that yearbook, there were some pages that were devoted to the who's who. Now, there are the who's who, those who got most likely to succeed and, most athletic and things like that. You've already guessed it. Jan was the who's who of the biggest cut-up. There's a picture of him, and he is, his neck is inside the vise of a paper cutter with the arm up, and whoever it is that had the other honor of being the biggest cut up, she was pulling down the lever on Jan's neck. Jan was a cut up. In the 8th grade, by the way, this is my memory. It's my memory, so it's true for now. If it's not your memory, when you tell it, it's true when you tell it. In the 8th grade, Jan got in trouble in English class. And for some reason, the teacher had us standing in the corner, facing the corner. Jan was in the corner, standing, and I cannot replicate what he did, but I can tell you about it and partly show you. But he turned in the corner with his back to the room. He put his arms around himself, and you could see his hands, and he was caressing himself in his arms as though he were kissing a girl. That so disrupted the class that the teacher had Jan sit down. Jan and I went to camp together. Camp Tanaco, our Methodist church camp, and to Camp Logoli, the Boy Scout camp. At Camp Logoli, it's a state park today, but at the time the Boy Scouts used it for their camp. And Logoli, many years ago, around the turn of the century, when the 19th century became the 20th century, there was an old resort that was there, and they had these mineral waters that you could come and drink and take baths in and stuff. It wasn't hot, but the only remnant of that resort was there was the footprint of the old hotel that was there. And inside that old hotel, that was a place where actually every year the boys would go on this tour, and at night, and we would be working on our astronomy merit badge or something like that. But when we got to that old hotel in the dark of night, all of a sudden floodlights came on, and the Logoli monster came out and scared all of us. And so we were running and trying to get away, and the Logoli monster became a little more audacious than he should have, and he stepped outside the old basement, and he grabbed one of the kids. Which one did he grab? He made a big mistake. He grabbed Jan and had him in a big bear hug, and all of us were running away screaming, and we were looking back. It looked like that King Kong was holding Fay Ray in the palm of his hand as far as we were concerned. But Jan, what did he do? He turned around and he was trying to get loose and struggle. He took his flashlight and he plopped that monster on his head. The next day at mess hall, one of the counselors showed up with a black eye. And this next event that in relation to it, I can't believe it. Yesterday, at the church that I attend, one of the guests was at one time the assistant superintendent of Logoli as a state park. I asked her, did you know about the Logoli monster? And she said yes, but they had to discontinue it because some counselor got hurt some years ago. She didn't know Jan's name, but what he did lived on. There's another side of Jan. It's already been mentioned. And that side of Jan was that he was full of kindness and compassion and respect for others. I experienced it personally when I was recovering from cancer surgery in the Baptist hospital, and Jan came by my room just about every day. But it wasn't just me. It was people that he knew from any walk of life, any corner of his life. All you have to do is ask Randy and Brenda Everett, because he came when Brenda was there. All you have to do is ask Ted Wagner, because when Ted's mother, Margie Wagner, was there, Jan came by. That was just the way he was. And it may surprise you that Jan, he didn't just practice this, he spent time cultivating that as a part of his personality. One of the books that he gave me when I was recovering at home from that surgery was a book called The Sunflower. It was written by Simon Wiesenthal. This man told the story of what it was like to be in a concentration camp, and the storyline went like this, that one of the SS officers in the concentration camp was dying, and he summoned one of the Jewish prisoners to come to his bedside, and he asked the Jewish man to forgive him. This shows you the depths of Jan's studious side. Because the question that ran through that book was, where are the limits of forgiveness? And the rest of the book, the second half of the book, has chapters that where people that are very famous, like Harry Wu, the Chinese dissident, and the Dalai Lama, and even Albert Speer, who was at one time in the SS, and how they saw and wrote about whether or not you could forgive and where were the limits of forgiveness. That tells us a different side that we didn't always see of Jan, but it was very much at his core. There was a period of time where Jan and I lost connection. He was in school in the early 70s. I had gone to college, and then one day, when I moved back to Little Rock, and I was driving. It's about a mile from the Capitol downtown, and I was driving. I saw the back of this man walking on the street, and I said, "My goodness, that man walks like Dr. Bruce Ellis, Sr." And when I got there, I said, "My goodness, it's Jan." I recognized him by that distinctive gait. Jan was always that tall person. And as I think about his life and what he meant, it reminds me of a time in which there was a sermon that I heard. It was at Emory Calvary Chapel when I was in grad school, and the person who was preaching was Daddy King, Martin Luther King Sr. Of all the sermons that I have preached and heard, I don't remember very many, but I remember this one. Daddy King said, "There's nothing that another human being can do that will make me stoop to hate." Jan always walked tall. In looking at his life, I don't see hate. And today, I believe Jan's walking taller than he ever did.
We are so appreciative to all of you and your personal witness. You did indeed capture the essence. I like that word, the essence, the spirit of Jan. And perhaps in the mystery of eternity, he can be here and fly fishing. The serious side, the faithful side, Charles, of Jan is reflected in the scriptures and the hymns that we are singing. Jan picked these and wanted to share them with us. So this next hymn, "Lord, I Want to Be a Christian in My Heart," it was a song that he sang in his heart regularly and trying to live it. So I invite you to stand and in honor of him and as a symbol of your own faith, let us sing together, "Lord, I Want to Be a Christian in My Heart." For this scripture lesson found in the 25th chapter of Matthew, we pick up in the middle of a very familiar story. And we'd love for you to go home and read this full story later and reflect upon it and ponder it. We pick up with verse 34. It's a parable that Jesus is telling. And at this point he says, "Then the king will say to those at his right hand, 'Come, you that are blessed by my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. I was naked, and you gave me clothing. I was sick, and you took care of me. I was in prison, and you visited me. Then these righteous ones will answer him, Lord, when did we see you hungry and give you food, or thirsty and give you something to drink? And when was it that we saw you as a stranger and welcomed you, or naked and gave you clothing? And when was it that we saw you sick or in prison and visited you? And the king will answer them, truly I tell you, just as you did it to one of the least of these, who are members of my family, you did it to me. This is the word of the Lord. The scripture passage was chosen by Jan. And it was a word from the scripture that served as a guide for him. It is a parable of sorts, where Jesus, he depicts all souls gathered before him, and he separates these souls into the sheep and the goats, and the faithful ones, into the faithful ones, and then into those who need a lot of forgiveness. Now, we are all somewhere on this spectrum, and that might change daily. Sometimes I really might be over here with the sheep, and then sometimes I may be way, way over here in need of lots of forgiveness. It is a parable meant for us to reflect upon where we might be in our relationship with God. Where we might be. In the parable, Christ is depicted as the great judge, inviting the faithful into the kingdom and saying to them, that you fed the hungry, and you gave drink to those who were thirsty, and you visited those who were sick and in prison. And notice that the righteous ones are confused at this point. They ask, what are you talking about? When did we see you hungry? When did we see you thirsty? When did we visit you? And then we are told, Christ says, truly I say to you, just as you did it to the least of these who are members of my family, you did it to me. Again, this is a story. It is a parable inviting us to see Christ in the eyes of others. So today, I do want to invite you to imagine what it might be like to see Christ in others, especially in the eyes of those who are hungry. Hungry for food, hungry for respect, hungry for forgiveness, hungry for compassion. These are the gifts that God wants for all of us. And we can see them, and we can receive them. And the way that we do so is to open our hearts to the way God is at work in others. There we are able to see all that God wants for us. When I think of Jan, I think of him as one who was alive in the light of God in this way, and who indeed expressed this kind of care and compassion for those around him. And we've heard some testimonies to that effect this day. I think of him here in this room in worship. This is where I saw him most often when I would see him. And he was here faithfully, regularly, sitting right over there. And before worship, he was greeting people and catching up with the people around him. And that was so important to him. And then when it came time for the sermon, he would lean forward in his seat. And he would look at me, listening intently. And after the service, I usually stand down here and greet people who want to come by and greet me. Not everybody does. Some people do. Jan always did. And sometimes he would comment on the sermon, but much more often he would just greet me with a smile on his face. That classic smile on his face. And somehow express how glad he was to be here in worship with this congregation, with people that he loved. When I think of Jan, I think of his positive spirit. Even in the midst of his long battle with cancer, he would be here in worship. He would be smiling, and he would make sure that we did not worry about him too much. He really kind of made us think that everything was okay. That was his spirit. He exuded this positivity, this hope. In this world, Jan did lose his battle with death. Too early from our human perspective. Jan did know that this was coming. He faced this reality with a strong faith, trusting that God was with him, and that God is with us in this life, even with all of our struggles and our heartaches, and is there to see us through. Jan knew the truth revealed so powerfully in the Scriptures that remind us that nothing in life or in death will ever be able to separate us from the love of God through Christ Jesus our Lord. Jan knew this truth. He lived this truth. It was planted so deep in his heart. So I invite you to think once again upon that story that Jesus tells. Reflect upon it this week. Where do you find yourself in this story? Are you able to see God in the eyes of others? Does this spark compassion in your soul? And then can you imagine Christ welcoming you? Welcoming you. That was Jan's hope. And I am confident that he has now been received into God's eternal grace. Thanks be to God. Let us pray together. Oh God, all that you have given us is yours. At first you gave Jan to us, and so now we do give him back to you. Trusting that you have received him into your arms of mercy and raised him with your people. Into your hands, O merciful Savior, we commend your servant, Jan David. Acknowledge and humbly beseech you, a sheep of your own fold, a lamb of your own flock, a sinner of your own redeeming. Receive him into your arms of mercy, into the blessed rest of everlasting peace, and into the glorious company of the saints of life. Through Christ we pray. And now we pray that you would join our hearts together and join our voices together as we pray the prayer that our Savior has taught us. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. For one more hymn, I invite you to turn to page 261 of the hymnal, Lord of the Dead, another favorite of Jan's.
Thank you.
reception in the fellowship hall. You go through either of these doors, make your way that way, and you will enter into the fellowship hall. We will lead the family out first. They will make their way there, and then all of you are invited to follow, where we can continue to share stories and express our love for one another. Receive this blessing from the Holy Scriptures. And now may the peace of God, the peace that passes all human understanding, keep your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus our Lord. And may the love of God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit go with you